What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to another video. Now, as you guys already know, I am selling off this truck, and if you don't know it, that's because you're not subscribed to the channel. A lot of you guys, the majority, great majority of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed. If you like the videos and you like to watch them, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. It really shows me that you guys want to watch my videos and I'll make more of them. So please go ahead and do that. Before we get started, now let's go ahead and get started on the video. The 5 reasons why you should not buy the Colorado ZR2. So yes, like I said, I'm selling the truck. It's not because I don't like it. I actually love the truck. And I knew these 5 reasons going into it before I bought the truck. And it's not the reason at all why I'm selling it. The reason I'm selling the truck is because tuning and deleting it at the moment has become difficult. I wanted to replace the 335D for my wife. She wants an SUV, so I'm getting her an X5 35D, a diesel one as well, that can tow better than the ZR2 can. So because it could tick so many boxes, there really was no more need for me to keep this truck. And the other part of it is I want to do even more off-roading than with this truck. So I'm going to buy a side-by-side, a dedicated vehicle to go nuts off-road, have some fun, do some farm chores. I do have 21 acres. If you guys are interested in looking at my modern outdoor living channel, I'll put a link down below in the description. There's also a link down there to my BitChute channel. I upload there as well. These days, YouTube is not as reliable as it used to be. Let's leave it at that. So, let's start with the 5 reasons. So, the first reason you should not buy this truck is if you're never gonna off-road it. I see a lot of people buy this truck and never even think about the possibility of taking this thing off-road. If you don't want to take this truck off-road, that's perfectly fine. It looks great, right? But you can get a much cheaper, or even almost just as good, Colorado Z71 package that is going to give you, off-road shocks. It's going to give you a bunch of stuff. It's going to raise the truck for you. It's going to make it look better, but it's also going to give you the capabilities that you're looking for in a pickup truck. The Z71 truck is less costly, but actually more capable all around than the ZR2. The ZR2 has a lot of compromises when it comes to its off-road ability. So of course the ZR2 is going to be way better than the Z71 in off-roading, and the reasons are that this has 2 locking differentials where the Z71 package does not have those 2 locking differentials, especially the front locking differentials. Very rare to find a vehicle with a front locking diff from the factory. This truck has that. I love that about this truck. It's actually one of the reasons why I bought it. The other part of that is that the DSSB shocks that are on this truck are super special, but also super expensive. So you're paying a lot of money and you're not really getting value out of it if you're not going to off-road it. I knew that going in. I wanted to off-road my truck. I wanted to experience that. I've never owned a truck and I never owned a off-road vehicle. And after Big Frog's 4x4 took me off-roading his ZR2, I did a video on that. We'll link that in the description, possibly. And he and the truck impressed me immensely. I was loving it. So I bought the truck because of it. I do some off-roading. I do have property that I go onto, and I use it for I've rescued my side-by-side. No, sorry, not my side-by-side. I'm thinking about side-by-sides. I rescued my lawnmower, my zero-turn lawnmower, a bunch of times from getting stuck in the mud going off-road, and it's just been a great truck for that. So that's the first one. If you're not going to off-road it, stick with the Z71 package. You'll be better off in the long run. Second reason is if you want something that has good towing capacity. This truck, as a regular Colorado diesel, you can get a Z71 package Colorado diesel, and it'll tow around 7,000 pounds. I think it's 7,200 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 7,600 pounds of tow capacity, which is a great capacity. You can tow a lot with 7,600 pounds. I mean, there's boats, there's ATVs and 4-wheelers and all kinds of stuff, trailers, you can tow cars. That capacity is a lot, right? It's not half-ton capacity. You can't tow 10,000 pounds, you can't tow 12,000 pounds, but honestly, for basically everybody out there, 7,000 pounds is way more than enough. The ZR2 is unfortunately limited to 5,000 pounds by the factory rules. Now, I can be candid with you guys, I can be honest with you guys, I've surpassed that a number of times. Every time I put my trailer as an enclosed 18 by 8.5 foot trailer, every time I hook it up to this truck, fill it up with junk, you know, tents and beds and a grill. Every time I do that, the weight gets up there. It's probably around 6,000 pounds every time I tow with it, and it does it fine, right? The engine doesn't care about it, the transmission doesn't care about it, none of that cares about it. The problem is that the chassis and the chassis engineers were not designing this truck to be lifted this way and also be able to lift 7,000 pounds. So it's not quite as stable, it's not quite as good, and it's just something to think about. If you want better towing, do not get the ZR2, get the Z71 or something equivalent like that. The diesel is really good, even in the Z71 package. Third reason you shouldn't buy this truck. So I'm sitting here super comfortable, and we do plan to have kids, and by kids I mean 1, maybe 2, right? So if you are expecting a lot of spacious room that you can put a lot of cargo in here safely and secure and be comfortable on long road trips with your whole family, this really is not the truck for you. Because with 2 or 3 people, you basically max it out when you add luggage, unless you're going to put the luggage in the bed, if you're going to get a bed cover so it doesn't get wet or things like that. And even then, you know, more than 4 people, if you get 3 or 4 people in here, it gets a little stuffy, it gets a little crowded, because this truck is actually a pretty small truck. There's sedans that are bigger inside of it than this truck is, and this is just the way it is. I like that about this truck. One of the reasons we bought this truck is because it is a smaller truck. But if you're expecting that you're going to buy a truck and you're going to be, you know, all spacious, going to be a ton of space, this is not the right truck for you. Don't get the Colorado, not the ZR2, not even the regular Colorado. You should probably get something bigger, right? A Tundra, a Tacoma is smaller than the Colorado, by the way, so don't get that either. Get a F-150. Get the F-150 is good. What is the smaller truck called? I'm having some brain issues at the moment. It's the Ranger, the Ford Ranger. I keep thinking it's the Raptor because, you know, I like the Raptor. I would love to buy a Raptor. It's the Ranger. The Ford Ranger is the small one. It's a little bit more spacious than this truck. Really not by much, honestly. So you need to get a bigger truck in order for you to feel more spacious in here. Fourth reason you should not buy this truck. If you're expecting to do a lot of Home Depot runs, a lot of, you know, if you're a contractor and you need to put a lot of crap in the bed for construction purposes, this is not the right truck for you. Yes, you can definitely take this truck and use it every once in a while to load it up with Home Depot stuff. I do it all the time. I have properties that I maintain here and there. But if you're expecting to do it easily and do it a day in, day out, throw ladders in here, throw all kinds of stuff in here, it's just not the truck for it. The bed's too small. And in order to get the bigger bed, you need to get the smaller cab. It's just not a very big frame. And you got to think about that before you go ahead and buy this type of truck, right? And I'm talking about Tacomas, I'm talking about Rangers, and I'm talking about Colorados. They're all small trucks. Yes, some people feel like trucks are big and, you know, they have a lot of space. Not all of them, and this is not that spacious in here. It's not that spacious in the bed either. Never bothered me. Actually, again, like that because it's easier to park, easier to manage. My wife was happy to drive it. We were this close to buying a Silverado, heavy-duty Silverado with a big 6.7 liter V8 diesel in it. This close, but we decided instead to get the ZR2. I'm so glad that I did. So, including that, so number 4 is, if you're expecting a lot of cargo in the back, really not the truck for you. The last one might surprise you guys. There's a lot of people that buy the Colorado diesel, especially, looking for a very, very good mileage. And there is truth in that, right? If you get a Colorado diesel, a regular one, or a Z71 package, it comes with a front air dam. It's not really designed for off-road use, but it's gonna give you really decent mileage, probably around 30 miles to the gallon if you drive it gingerly. The ZR2 variant, the aerodynamics on it are, I would say, compromised. I mean, that's the best word for it, because it is a big compromise that they had to make in order to make this off-road worthy. They cut out the bumpers, you know, they don't have any air dams, the aerodynamics. They took the aerodynamics and threw it out the window. And I'm glad they did that. I knew they did that, but I did not expect stellar miles to the gallon. Now, with that, you know, usually I get between 23 and 25 miles to the gallon, which is great for a truck. But with it's a 4-cylinder, little turbo, you know, truck engine. I expected a little bit better, and you do get better from a regular Colorado or even a Z71 package. So keep that in mind. You're expecting crazy mileage from this thing. it may not be the truck for you. It's decent for what it is, like I said, but it's not stellar. So that pretty much wraps it up. This truck is an amazing truck, but these are the 5 things that you should keep in mind before you sign that dotted line on a new Colorado or a Colorado ZR2 or a diesel. I'll throw an extra one there, a little bonus there for you guys, in case you guys are still watching the video. These are for you guys if you're that interested in this truck. So 5.5 or a bonus. The bonus one is if you're looking for a diesel truck to easily tune and delete in the year 2020, right now I don't see any options. They've all dried up as of October of 2019, and that's for a couple of reasons. I think there's an emissions update that Chevy did that locked the ECU to a certain extent and forced people to really not be able to crack their ECUs to tune the truck. And if you can't tune the truck, it becomes really difficult to delete the DPF and delete the EGR and delete all the things that you really do need to delete if you're gonna keep the truck for a very long term. So yeah, it's hard to do right now. I do expect in the future that we'll have a fix for this. It's gonna be a temporary thing. It's gonna be, you know, in a year or 2 we'll have a solution. But if you want to do it immediately, you know, this may not be the truck for you. All right, guys, thanks for watching as usual. Really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments as well. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.